Yo, what's up? It's DNA for sure. Also known as Lord Homeboy, which is my rap name. Google it and YouTube it. And this video is about gangsters. I think I'm gonna make more than one video, of course. Maybe. But you need to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share this video, and do all that good shit. Let's get this money together. Now, this video is coming from a place of education. I can't believe they actually tied it. I'm watching the Jaguars Giants game right now, 35-35. So, anyways, a couple years ago, like 5 years ago, I was having a conversation with this girl who I was trying to fuck. I was having a conversation with her mother, and her and the other moms in the community were trying to get the principal of her old high school. They were trying to strip him of his position because they found out that he let it be known that he was a old school Latin King high-ranking member. And my argument was that is what they trained him to do. He is one of the few who actually got his goal accomplished and is probably not going to end up dead or in jail because of his gangbanging and his old gangbanging ways. Who knows? It could happen. He's still within his the city limits of his stomping ground, or at least the metropolitan area of his stomping ground within that area. But who knows? Probably it's not going to happen. And it comes from me seeing the posts on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter about and the news. People acting like this is not what gang members do when they see the shit on the news that they see. Acting so surprised, and it's not even about them acting surprised about the capacity of violence that how much violence that another human can inflict on another human. It's not about that. It's about what gang members do and how horrible that they can be towards other people that they don't know and other people that they do know. So I'm gonna give you a small, very tunnel vision, very small look inside the mind of a gang member. Or not a look, I'm not going to show you because I'm not a gang member. And I can only describe what I know and what I've seen and what I've studied and acknowledged. Now, I've been to Cook County a couple times. I lived in the hood. Not my whole life, obviously. Family that's gang members. All my friends have always been gang members. And killers and shit. But the typical gang member is a misfit. Even though there's a lot of them, there's a big number of gang members. They're usually people who have gone through something. Specifically people from impoverished areas with a lot of violence around it. Violence in impoverished neighborhoods produces PTSD. I've watched documentaries about it, I've read about it, I've seen it. The same PTSD that you see in soldiers that have gone to war and seen people get killed in front of them, because a lot of these people have seen a significant amount of violence before being initiated into their gang. People getting their heads blown off, seeing stabbings, seeing people get jumped, being in hella fights, being in fights every day of the week for that fucking month. Seeing their mothers being beaten by their fathers, vice versa. Any kind of violence that you can name, they've seen. A lot of them. That makes you numb to it. That makes you laugh at it. And that makes you think that that's okay. Being numb to violence is a form of PTSD. 80% of people who grew up around violence in impoverished areas, and it's continuous, have some form of PTSD. Whether that means ducking when you hear a loud noise, whether that means not responding to violence at all, or having flashbacks, just like any soldier that's been to war and experienced violence. Now, what kind of person that makes you is up to you. But when you try to enhance that PTSD, when you try to grow it, and when you try to use it in a negative way, in a way that you perceive as positive or fun or anything like that, that makes you to a certain person. I'm not saying that every gang member is a fucking psychopath or is a fucking sociopath or could be a serial killer. A lot of gang members that I've been around, they don't have the capacity to chop up a body into a million pieces and spread it around all of Chicago so you can't find and identify the person. They can't fucking stab people with knives. They can't do certain things that the mafia, that a crazy ass fucking Mexican would do, that the fucking Zetas in Mexico would do. A lot of them would only shoot a person. A lot of them wouldn't even beat a person to death with their bare hands or with a tool that's not a gun. But a lot of gang members are expected to kill people or go into their situation knowing that they may have to kill a motherfucker one day. They're all either prepared for that or feel like it's gonna happen one day. And that makes you a certain kind of person. I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose everybody as a sociopath or a psychopath. I'm not saying that if you're in a gang and you know you have to kill somebody one day, maybe. A lot of people have to kill people to get into these gangs. A lot of Vice Lords, a lot of Crips, a lot of Bloods. The initiation is killing somebody or two people. But that doesn't automatically make you anything. To be able to, all the gang members that I've talked to, a lot of them I asked how it felt or what they were thinking when they did it. And it's usually the same thing. I didn't feel anything. I turned all emotion off. I did it. And I think about it every day. I can see the person's face clearly. I remember the last thing that he or she said, and I said, and it was done. After a while, you don't think about it every day, but you think about it most of your days when you wake up, throughout the day, when you fall asleep, one of those parts. That's what a lot of them have told me. I've heard stories of people shooting somebody in the head up close that had an afro and the afro catching on fire, and they thought it was funny because they didn't think that was going to happen. I'm not saying that all gang members are like that, but a lot of them, think about it like this. You have a job, and you know that everything that you do to advance in this job is going to kill you or kill another person or both. What do you think that would make you feel? What do you think that would make you view life as? And it's not one person's fault, it's everybody's fault. These people are selling drugs, killing people, attempting to kill people, attempting to kill police, doing drugs so they don't feel, so they don't think. And you should not be surprised by anything that a gangster does with violence. You shouldn't ever. Gangsters are soldiers. Gangsters are terrorists. Gangsters operate off of gangsters operate off of a depressed energy. Gangsters are suicidal in their ways. They don't think about the next day. They don't give a fuck about living, dying, killing, stealing, raping. That's depression. That's suicidal to me. You're fighting to be more suicidal each day, to do things that you know that you can kill somebody, doing things that know you can die from doing. Not just the drugs, killing people, obviously. A lot of gangsters think that they're bettering themselves. Yeah, when you get it and they tell you that we're gonna help you grow, we're gonna help you develop, we're gonna make sure that your growth and development is better. We're gonna make sure that you restore your community. Your community is in restoration. It's in progress right now. They give you a set of morals and codes and values. Make sure you wash your ass. Make sure you respect yourself. Don't do drugs. Don't gamble. They tell you that. A lot of them give you rules and laws to present yourself as a gentleman and as a respectable young man or woman. Yeah, they don't want some fucking bummy ass, junky ass crackhead in their gang telling everybody that they're fucking throwing up their hand signs and shit. And they say, oh, well, they all must be like that. Oh, fucking vice lords are all junkies. They all smoke that leaf on the west side. They don't want you walking around like that. So they give you these little codes and rules and shit. But, that's not the first thought in a lot of recruiters' minds and a lot of OG's minds. They see a fucking 8-year-old or a 10-year-old and his mom's on drugs and his dad's a fucking pimp. They don't fucking say, look, I'm gonna take this guy and he's gonna be a fucking badass lawyer one day because he shot somebody in the face for me and I forced him to do things because I bought him new shoes and fucking nice clothes. They don't fucking think that because they're fucking suicidal themselves. They're out there doing drugs and fucking killing people themselves. So when they look at this young person, the first thing they think, this guy is young enough for us to give him all the drugs and all the guns. When we get pulled over, he's not gonna get any time, we're not gonna get any time, and he's gonna be respected. So everybody wins except him. And in reality, you're willing to do that to a small child. You're willing to kill an 8-year-old to send a message. You're willing to rape somebody's wife, tie that person up, and fucking kill their son in front of them to send a message. These people rob banks and fucking do shit to get everything in their life destroyed with ease and pleasure. That's not what all gangsters do, but that is what's expected. Ride or die. Die to ride. That's what gangsters do. They have their codes. They don't fucking sit at home and cut themselves. They're not that kind of depressed. But if you're drinking and smoking to cover up your problems, you're killing people, you're hurting people. Ugh. You think that life is but a dream? Think about it like this. Because I sat around, you guys know how I'm in the whole spirituality shit. There's people in America, there's people in this world who, where they grew up is so fucked up that they don't believe in God. They don't believe that somebody has a special plan, or there's a universe, or there's some set of rules. There's somebody, they don't believe in God. Think about it like that. What do you expect a person to be able to do to another person if their conditions where they grew up is so fucked up that they don't even believe in God? Before you judge somebody, before you say that they should not be doing something or they should be doing something or they should be punished or judged, think about that. Think about what you don't know. Think about how you feel when you're having a fucked up day. That's it. If you want to know more, if you want me to make a part 2, part 3 to this video, please let me know. Like this video, subscribe. Think about how you treat people and don't expect shit else from a gangster but to be the most savage that you can expect. And more. Peace.